Now we have a real treat in store. We're going to have our first speech for today. It's by someone who's been very inspirational to me over the last couple of years. I met Angel when Parlanch English was still very small. It was tiny. So just to explain a little bit, because it could be a bit confusing, in Madrid, I was about to say Seville, because I used to live in Seville. In Madrid, we have Parlanchines, which is the Spanish-speaking Agora Club. I went to Parlanchines for the first time in October 2017. They had begun in March 2017, and they already had loads of people. I loved the atmosphere. I had previously been to Toastmasters, but I knew immediately, I had just recently arrived to Madrid, that I wanted to join Parlanchines. I wanted to join Agora speakers. At the time, there wasn't a club in English. So I already knew Santi, and I said, Santi, where's the English? And he said, you are going to start the club in English. So with all his help in the world, he even chose the name, similar to Parlanchines, Parlanch English. We began Parlanch English. And in one of the first meetings, where there were only about 4 people there, one of those was Angel. He came, his eyes were shining. Even though we were a small group, Angel was really enthusiastic about it. Partly because Angel had decided that his objective this year was public speaking. And when Angel decides to do something, he does it. And he does it very well. So he was there looking all enthusiastic. And then he joined the club. His first hot question. We were in a stage at the time in Parlanch English where the hot questions were a bit strange. Alex has seen a few of our strange hot questions. We called them ice melting, icebreakers. And we'd get up and do some role plays. And those role plays would end up with people hugging each other and kissing each other, men kissing men. Yeah, so you have to come and we'll repeat that someday in Malaga. So Angel did one of these hot questions. And it came out that Angel had had 6 wives. Not in reality, but in his hot question. So since then, I've always known Angel as the guy who's had 6 wives. He's never shaken that thing off. And when Angel got up to do his first speech, he was sort of moving like this, looking down at the floor and going, using 1,000 filler words, moving around all the time. And you will see Angel now. Angel has been diligently to Parlanchines, Parlanch English. He's one of our most involved members. He's part of the reason why both clubs have grown. He's a huge part of the reason why both clubs have grown. He's organised events, he's been committed, he's kicked me up the arse when I've got lazy. And today you're going to see how much his communication has transformed. Angel owns the stage. He's a very calm speaker, and today he's going to tell us about something hugely inspirational for all of us, which is a youth program that he went out to do in Sierra Leone. So let's welcome Angel onto the stage, and a huge round of applause for him.
What do we learn here at Agora Speakers? What do we learn each week in our own clubs in any corner around the world? We learn self-esteem and confidence to come to a stage and to speak in front of an audience. We learn to think before speaking. We also learn to structure our speech to deliver a better message. Critical thinking, even the power of silence. I will ask you a favor. Please close your eyes for a few moments. Imagine you pick all these ideas, all these skills, you take a plane 5,000 miles away from your home, arrive to a strange country in Africa, West Africa, one of the poorest countries of the world. You seek for an organization, you find it, you go to the board of this organization, and you told them, I want to teach these skills to your social workers to empower children of the street, which one you work. And then the director says, yes. Are you imagining that? Even one member of the board tell you, I'll help you. Of course, you will be not there forever, so you need help, you need to build a team, and you say, great. And for a whole week, you stay with this person, explaining all the drills, explaining what a speaker is, what the speak is, how to deliver it, how to organize a session, the sporting roles, even the hot questions stuff. And the day before the first meeting, he comes to you and tell you, hey man, this is too much. I can't do it. I quit. Sorry for that. You look at the man. You say, okay, thanks anyway. And then you start to have your worst 5 minutes in life. Everything you did suddenly disappeared. You have one day before your first session, and you need to recover the whole week in this day. And you will do it. I assure you that. This is my story. My name is Zinsel. I love WordPress. I love Africa. I love community building, and of course, I love Agora speakers. The whole story is a little bit different. Because of work reasons, I have some relation with Sierra Leone, and I met there a director of an NGO called Don Bosco Fambul. It's a big NGO there with more than 150 workers, around 100 social workers, 98% of the people local, with up to 8 impressive programs with street children. He came to me and invited me to see a documentary. Later I can share the link, it's impressive. I was shocked about prostitution on the streets. I tell him, I have these new skills and perhaps I can help your social workers to improve his work and to improve the children's life. He said, well, fantastic. So I called Santiago. Where is Santiago? It doesn't matter, there. And I tell him my plan. And he delivered me to Alexander. And Alexander said to me, well, there is a man in Lisbon called Jorge Diaz who has a program called Agora School Program, and perhaps you can try this program there. So the original idea of the Agora School Program is from Jorge, and I will ask you for a big applause for him, please. What is Agora School Program? It's a program with 8 sessions. The first one is a demo session, like any one of our sessions in our class. There you show the group how to do everything. The sporting roles, the speeches, the meeting leader, the hot questions on all that stuff. The second session is an easy one, things I like. Third session, who am I? Fourth session, some basic structure, instructions, body language, purpose of the speech, and then the last session is to show the members who are running this program to a bigger audience what you learned. I stayed there for the first session. I trained, it was not for children in this case, it was a train-the-trainer session, and I worked with around 25 social workers. I was there for the demo session. I organized a system with WhatsApp and emails with agendas, helping each week the meeting leader of each session. And the sessions were around one each 15 days. And I came back like 4 months later for the last session, for the closure session. What I learned there is that I started with a group that culturally was very different from me. They didn't applaud after the speech, no handshaking, no feedback. It was like complicated to manage this kind of group. They knew each other, but they were not friends. So they were like looking close and vigilant to the others. That was the first session, very complicated one. 8 sessions later, they were a group. They were colleagues, they were friends, they were doing jokes, they were applauding. They changed, they learned something powerful together for his job and for his children, for their children. What is the situation currently of the plan? Well, the program was done, and also they are planning for the future. They will they are building a healing center. They will inaugurate it in March. I will go there, and they will use these routines, some of them or all of them, depends on the group of the children, in this healing center to empower the children and to recover them. As you probably know, everything is created twice, right? First in the mind, and after that in reality. But if you want to succeed in the reality, you need, as Alexander said yesterday, start as fast as you can. You need to build a team. You need to create trust in your team. Meaning, if you promise something, do it. Also, you need to trust your team and give them independency, even if they do things differently as you would have done. Even if they make mistakes, especially when they make mistakes. As Emma said yesterday, try to enjoy during the process. Very important. I almost forget that all the time. And for me, the most important thing is to be brave. So please, to create things, be brave and do together a better world.